Good evening. My name is Mark Hawanil, and I'm the Vice President of the Homeowners Association in Leilani Estates. Just to give you a brief history of myself, I grew up in Kalapana back in the days, my childhood days. I've seen all these eruptions happening. Back then, the eruption was mellow. This eruption now is angry, and we all know why. We locals, we know why, but we don't like say anything. I'm against lava viewing, and I'm hoping everyone else feels the same way. Because if this continues, I'm talking about lava viewing, any place in the eruption area, it's going to be devastating, even much more. Yes. Two issues I want to bring up, and that was one of them, lava viewing. Whether it's in the perimeter of the eruption area here, most of all in Leilani Estates. It started in Leilani Estates. It's a residential area. It's not like Kalapana days. Kalapana was wide open. Although there were homes, it was much more relaxed. Meron Pele was mellow. Today, we have another person that is destroying these places. I hope all of you know. You know? Some of us, we know who is this. So I'm telling you all, let it go. Let it be until things settle down. My second issue is, will a government agency condemn Leilani or take it over? My thoughts on that, we still have an association. The top half, 40% of us are back in there. We know what safety is all about, and we're wide awake. We Hawaiians call eleo. We look out for each other, especially the Hawaiians. And I'm sure all of us, we are Hawaiian at heart. So this, I leave you. You can answer these questions, or you can just take it in. And I'm hoping all of you here tonight think about this. I know everybody wants to see the lava, but because it's in a residential area, this is totally different. Back in Kalapana days, oh, okay, it was good. But today, I tell you, stay away. Don't have this lava viewing. Thank you.
Thanks. I have a comment and maybe it'll incite a question. The Department of Planning, where you get your building permits, is requesting any individual who would like to speed up a process or have ideas about how to be helped as an evacuee. They're asking that you come down and talk to them at the planning department in Hilo individually, and they're taking each individual case, they're looking at them and seeing what they can do to help. Waiving fees, maybe, speeding up processes, relaxing codes in certain areas, but it takes an effort of an individual to go down and talk with them.
Good evening. First of all, I just want to thank all of those who've been blessing us and helping us and trying to protect us. So I want to get a little different perspective. I'm from Oahu. I have a house in Leilani. And so I've been here for the last 5 weeks fixing it up because I lost my tenants. The first thing I want to say is a comment, which is I was surprised at the lack of empathy that some of the workers I've dealt with have. And I would just ask the government to, or the governor to remind people how much we're going through out here and to show a little bit more empathy if they can. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to embarrass anybody. But just know from somebody who came here and had to go through everything pretty quickly. I wasn't here at the beginning. I've been insulted a few times. But most of the people are wonderful and great, and we appreciate that. The second thing is the people in Leilani and Opihikau who are living through this, I'm curious if we're being asked before rules are being made and implemented.
No,
Okay.
we are not included in the decision.
Okay, because I would strongly suggest you come to us if you're in our home where we pay our fees and our taxes and all that stuff before you make changes. I know I was really embarrassed this week because I had friends come over and stay with me from Oahu, and I had to ask them to park their car in Pahoa, who knows where. We know Pahoa is not exactly the safest place for our cars overnight. And they had to park a Jeep with a soft top. We had to go find the safest place possible. They don't offer a place for us to park since you guys changed the rules where we can't have people come over. So they came during the weekend. The placard system, in my opinion, is ridiculous how you guys have it set up. You guys are so afraid of somebody going down and taking a look at the lava that you totally inconvenience us. I had people come today to give me a bid. So these are professionals that have to jump in my car to come down and do work. Or we have to drive clear into town to get a placard for them to come. That's ridiculous. I don't know why you changed the rule to where we can't give permission for them to come in. Are we not trustworthy? We're being held, in my opinion, we're being held, we're victims. Hostage? All right. I'm glad I'm not the only person. I wasn't sure how everybody was going to take this, but obviously we have issues with the placard system. I don't know why you don't have somebody out here at the police station where we can come to or someplace nearby. Why do we got to go all the way into town? And then I had a friend or somebody someone who's renting my house now. I took him into town. He wasn't in his car, so he didn't bring his registration. And because he didn't have his registration, he wasn't allowed to get a placard. I don't understand. He knew his license plate of his vehicle. Anyway, if you guys can talk to us, the communities are dealing with this. We want the safety of the police officers there, but we don't want their harassment. The last thing is helicopters. not 24/7, but pretty much 12/7. There are helicopters over us, 3 to 5 at a time. Is there anything we can do to keep them on the ocean side so we can have peace and rest? We don't mind people having a business, but we're already the ones going through this. We shouldn't have to deal with all this other stuff. Thank you very much.
Next.
Well, so some of the same points. I do some contracting work and do some work, and some of the people that I helped evacuate out of Leilani, they feel like they're being forced back in because they have no place else to go. They need to move back into their houses, and disconnecting solar systems, and then also dealing with their water systems. I've gone the runaround where I've been down to I've been down to Civil Defense now 3 times, this week, looking at asking them about water quality problems. They sent me to the Department of Water. Department of Water doesn't want to give any kind of statement at all. I mean, it's not my house. I'm in Lava Tree, and I'm on county water, and the county already hooked up my water again. So I'm okay, but you've got elderly people in Leilani who have water that's testing in the 1 and 2 range. It's very acidic. It's not safe. And somebody, else needs to come up with the chemistry before we just start adding a lot of sodium bicarbonate and try to neutralize it out. Because there's levels where I tell them, I can't feel like this is safe. If you were my auntie or uncle, I wouldn't want you to be in this situation. Or, disconnect it, and we got to replace the liner, and then, replace it with county water. These are big issues, and it's not just one person, it's the whole neighborhood. is being put back into that. And then the stresses of all the having to go in. I was there today. I saw you there today. And I was marveling that you guys have better footage going on, and I don't see it online. And I waited in line for an hour with 7 other people to get placards. And all of us knew each other. Every single one of us. I see some of them in the room now. We were standing in line waiting so that we could get our placards for our workers. And, it makes it that much more difficult. And when I have to charge a customer hourly, and I have to have a placard to get into the neighborhood, what about my tools? And then when I got to bring in somebody else, it's just every single time, it just becomes more and more of a hassle, and it really doesn't help the situation, having some of the ways that we've set it up. But, that's about it. I'd really like the water situation to be somehow addressed, because without a lab on island, you're just ripe for problems. The elderly gentleman that I went and did a bid on, I haven't sent him back a bid because he has open sores on his legs, and bathing in acidic water is not going to help that. So, something really needs to get done. I told him to contact the VA because, it's through the VA that he got the loan for the house.
Thanks. I'm Jason. I live down off of Noni Farms Road. We've been having some serious issues down there. I just want to address them. First of all, DNLR or DLNR. DLNR is citing residents walking on our neighborhood roads. Good friends of mine, my immediate neighbors, are getting cited in our own community. I'd like to get a good understanding of what the resources are for enforcing these neighbors and writing all the citations versus the conservation efforts of all the Hano that were trapped and killed recently. There's a big thread on Hawaii Tracker right now, and it's gotten the most comments to date because of this issue. I'm just going to say that I'm representing myself when I say it feels like there's martial law in Papaya Farms area. I have a big issue with the safety concerns when there is no cell service. I was on the phone with AT&T today. They actually can be approved to bring out a mobile service if the right people say so. Okay? They said to me, it's the first responders, it's the fire chief, it's the police chief that needs to order this, and it will be here the next day. This is a state of emergency. There are farmers down there that live very close to the banks of the spillage in Cinderland area. If there's no way to get cell service, how are we going to be able to know what is going on? Why haven't there been any live webcams put up so that we as residents can view it with our own eyes and feel safe when we're down there farming? SO2 meters. I've been working with USGS, 2 of the main scientists, and they are more than happy to come down there and set these things up. The safety that you guys are saying that the safety is at your first concern, but how do we know that? We don't feel it down in that area. We feel like we're getting harassed every time. I was personally interrogated for an hour by a county worker, asking me why I go back there, why I put a gate up on our private road. And he also told me that he was going to cut the lock off for our safety. Now that would have exposed all of our farms that have been looted. It's been documented. And I just want to get to the bottom of this. I'm not trying to start anything here, but we have a lot of concerns in this area. And DLNR is not helping. I was locked in my home when county put up a gate and locked it, and they locked me in.
Okay, I understand your frustration. Thank you for all your information. We'll definitely, take it forward to make sure that things are getting addressed. We don't have to turn this into just your session of getting it off your chest. We're running out of time,
man.
so why don't you
It's
give it up
like-
to the next person?
I will.
Okay?
There's lots of people down there that are
All
concerned.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to be an easy one. I think to focus it just a little bit more for myself, I'm in lava shed number 1. I would think that I am probably the most vulnerable. It seems like. I think my question is kind of one of timing. It appears that you're not going to let us back in. That's what it appears. I would like a definitive yes or no, and not now. Perhaps maybe a timetable, that we can say this. I'd like to know if we're not going to be let in, what exactly is going to happen to the homes, whether they're going to be destroyed or I don't know. I hate to just watch it fall apart, and I'd like something timely so I could both have some closure, move on, like we've all said. We would like to move on, but timing is real important. I know, and everybody's got a little different situation, but with that one, I think we could come up with a resolution. Okay, thank you.
Like I said in past meetings, all options are being looked at. I don't have an exact answer for you right now as to what's going to happen to the house. We watch the events, the conditions daily, 24 hours a day. I know HVO in their reports came out that they're doing their major reassessment of everything every 2 months. So those are some triggers. But as the conditions exist right now, we're not going to let people into those areas that are mandatory evacuation, and we're still going to keep the restricted area in place because of the risks, the hazards in those areas. And that's what it is. So like I say, we're at 6 o'clock right now, so we'll wrap this up. All the resources around the building, you guys can come up and talk to me. You guys can come up and talk to us individually. Have a good night. Thank you. We'll be here at 7 o'clock again, next Tuesday.
When you don't answer the question.
We will be here to
You
answer all
think it's
questions.
funny, you're smiling, you think it's funny what we're going through?
Just come up and we'll ask.
What if you lived in Leilani?
In public! In public for everybody! You can choose whether we go in or not. Yeah, come on. How about this disclaimer? Oh, if I want to walk in for long, do it! How about private property? Yeah. You forgot about freedom in this country. Choosing a disaster to take away all our freedom.